Alright, so it's about June 26th. Here we are in a sort of neglected corner of Mountain Gardens. Sort of on the edge of the woods, gets a little light shade. We stuck in some Angelica cutiloba. That's an important, that's the Japanese equivalent of dongui. Might prove to be a little easier to grow than in dongui. I'm seeing some, well, there's lots of this fleabane, which is quite a weedy plant. Erigeron, I'm seeing some evening primrose. But the main plant I want to talk about here is this Rover Bellflower, Campanula rapunculoides. So this has gotten all over my garden. It's I consider it to be a pretty bad weed, but of course it's obviously quite an attractive perennial. And as it happens, parts of it are even edible. But it just spreads very vigorously, and at this point it's taken over some pretty big areas of the garden, and it's not that easy to get rid of. So this constitutes a bit of a warning, perhaps. Campanulas are known as bellflowers, so that's typical, and there are hundreds of varieties. There's some very nice rock garden bellflowers that are good in rock walls, quite attractive. There's a native one called tall bellflower, which is a favorite spring greens of the Cherokee Indians. That's Campanulastrum americanum, used to be Campanula. It's a biennial that grows in the woods. This one here probably comes from Eurasia. So let's dig some up and have a look at it. See what we can see down here. So the way this probably got all over my garden was from me not ever wanting to pick the flowers, but just let them bloom. And so it probably spread by seed to a considerable degree. This is what it does, and these are pretty good to eat. So there's an ancient medieval vegetable called rampion. That's Campanula rapunculus. It features in a fairy tale called Rapunzel. Rapunzel's the girl with the real long hair, you might remember. But the way the whole story starts is that this woman is pregnant and she gets a desperate craving for rampion, and the only place to get rampion that they know of is in the witch's garden, so she sends the old man into the witch's garden, and he gets caught, and he has to promise to give his firstborn daughter to the witch, which he does, and she's stuck in the tower. Anyways, on and on, but it all revolves around this rampion. So there's a vegetable called rampion. That's Campanula rapunculus. Fairly harmless little plant. It's a biennial. Used to be grown as a vegetable. It's in several old vegetable gardening books, but it dropped out of favor. It's not much grown anymore, or not at all grown anymore. One of its distinctive qualities was it had the smallest seeds of any vegetable that people grow, which made it hard to deal with. I've grown it a couple times, but it never could get it to self-sow, but it could be that the seed is so tiny, that the seedlings are so tiny that just get weeded out. Anyway, this one is Campanula rapunculoides, and this is a perennial. And what it does is make two kinds of roots. It makes these nice tap roots, which are actually quite good to eat. And then it makes running roots that go sideways, which is how it spreads all over here. So you can see how much of it there is in this little corner. And it's going to be like a couple of years. If we seriously wanted to get rid of this, we'd have to dig it all out and then grow some kind of annual crop, because we'd never get it all. Then it'd come back, then we weed it again. So maybe 3 times of weeding we could conceivably get rid of it. In the meantime, it is a good root. You could probably sell this to restaurants. It's quite tasty. This is the same family that includes balloon flower, the Campanulaceae, and Codonopsis, the ginseng substitute. Both of them tasty, nutritious roots. This is also, might be worth mentioning, My late great dog Buffy, whenever we'd get in the part of the garden where this plant was growing, she would start eating it. She really liked to eat the foliage of it. She didn't dig it up, she was just eating the leaves. So a number of the campanulas have interesting edible and medicinal properties, and this is definitely one that could be looked into, investigated, but like I say, just watch out for it. It's got huge weed potential. If you're just looking for a wildflower to grow between trees and shrubs in a sort of light shaded area where it's not going to be crowding out anything, yeah, it's fine. Nice plant.